wake the fuck up, cause it's been too long. Bling, boom, bling, melanated.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Melanated Mindfulness. So I'm going to be sharing 5 things that you need to do before spring starts. I don't know, me personally, spring is my favorite season. Like, I know it's the month or it's the season I was born in, but outside of that, I really do love spring. It just feels fresh and alive and new. Like, I don't know, like, I really want you guys to take the time to sit and feel like how you feel as the seasons change and transition. You should feel different as we approach the first day of spring. There's like an energy shift, and it's bigger than just the weather. There's a lot of, like, you know, positive things and associations that come with spring. So without further ado, I'm going to get right into the 5 things that I really suggest you guys do. And of course, these are things I'm taking the time out to do as well. So the very first thing that I think is important to focus on as we get into the spring season is spring cleaning. Yes, and I know you guys have heard of that before, but I wanted to give you guys a different meaning because yes, spring cleaning means cleaning out your house, decluttering everything, but it's way deeper than that on a spiritual level. Every year we acquire a lot of things. We acquire physical things, but we also acquire energetic things that are attached to material things. For instance, if you get a gift from someone, their energy is attached to that item, no matter how long you keep it. So when the springtime comes around, you want to go into the new year with only things that are important to you, only things that will help you to get further ahead. You don't want to be holding on to anything that you're not using, anything that has stagnant energy on it, anything from somebody that you don't like anymore. You want to get rid of those things now, because in order to welcome in new blessings, you have to get rid of some things. As objects hold energy, they hold memories, and they hold spirits. And they say in the Bible, cleanliness is next to godliness for a reason, because when your surroundings are clear and you know where everything else is at, it really takes a toll on your mental for the better. I noticed that with me personally. Like, when I'm in a disarray, my room looks like my head space. And so whenever I clean things up and get situated, I feel a lot more just like mentally stable. Like, I'm able to know where things are at. I can account for my belongings without feeling like, oh my God, where's everything at? So make sure you're taking the time to really do a deep cleaning, okay? Before March 21st, deep clean your car, your room, your bathroom, your cabinets, clean out your refrigerator. Like, get rid of everything that you don't want to take into the new year, okay? Think about it like this. Whatever you keep around you, you're keeping that energy. You're keeping those memories. And if you don't want that into your new year, get rid of it. So the second thing that I'm recommending everybody do before the new year starts is create a game plan for the year. That's going to be super important for the success of 2025 for you. So with life, if there's nothing that I've learned from being here for almost close to 30 years, is that life is going to keep lifing regardless of what you have going on, what's going on in the world. Life keeps going, and time keeps going, and time waits on no one. So with that being said, it's really important that you have a direction for yourself throughout the year, so that when things get kind of, you know, hectic, you're able to refocus and recenter on what was important for you for this year. So for me, when I'm creating a game plan, I like to use my planner. I like to think about categories in my life, and I like to think about, where do I want to be by the end of this year? So for me, I have a planner where I have personal goals, I have health goals, I have business goals, self-care goals, you know, different categories. And so I want you guys to take the time. You don't have to pick those categories, but just think about where you want to be in your social life by the end of the year. Where do you want to be in your career? Do you want to further your education? Are you trying to get more into your creative side? Are you going to tap into some creative projects this year? Like, create a game plan so that, like I said, you have a direction. You need to visualize the lifestyle that you want for yourself and map out what it takes to get there. And that can also be like making a vision board, you know, just visualizing what you want, how you want to get there, and what goals you have. Map out your goals. So that's going to lead us into the third thing that you need to do before the new year starts. And it might be a little late in the game for that. Depending on when I post this video, you can do it as the new year starts, but it would be good to start beforehand. The third thing that I suggest is that you get grounded in your routines. So like I said from the previous thing, when you create the game plan, you need to map out what it will take you to reach those goals. And that's where you come into the routine, because you're basically planting seeds, which is a nice little, metaphor, because technically in the springtime is when you plant seeds to receive your harvest, whatever. So now you're going to be planting positive seeds of positive habits, okay? So you need to invest in habits that are going to get you to that end goal, okay? So get grounded in your routine. If you want to wake up every day at a certain time, set an alarm on your phone. Every day I'm waking up at this time. If you want to work out 3 times a week, you need to get used to doing that. Maybe this week you only get 2 times in, but next week go for 3. Track your habits as well. The best way to know if you're keeping up with your goals is to track them. So I would highly recommend tracking the habits that you're trying to create that are going to help you reach your goals. The 4th thing that I recommend you do going into this new year, because life is all about give and take. And if you want to receive blessings, you have to sacrifice something. A lot of people I know participate in Lent, and I think that already started. But you can always do a personal fast. You can always do a personal detox. And so that's going to be the 4th thing I recommend. Do some sort of fast or a spiritual cleanse, whatever that might look like for you. You get so used to having whatever you want whenever you want it. It's really important that you have control over yourself by reducing things for a set amount of time, just to show yourself that you have control, and just to, restructure your anatomy. Because for me, like, okay, let's say you smoke weed every day. You've been smoking weed every day for the last 5 years. Your body needs a break from that. Even if it's not something you can do for a long time, you still need to take a break, whether that be for a week, for 3 weeks, for a month, for 3 months, whatever that is. You need to take time away from things that you might be addicted to, or even people or places that you like to go too much, or food that you overeat. Like, just sacrifice something. So I recommend that you do some sort of fast, okay? Some sort of spiritual cleanse where you get rid of something with the intention of filling that void with a spiritual connection. So the whole point of doing fast is to become closer to God. When you remove things from the body, you are left with just the soul. And that's a very powerful notion, because when you take away those things that are distracting you from your higher self, you are more connected to God, in a sense. Like, it's really a direct correlation. And so the 5th and final thing that I'm going to recommend you guys do before you go into this new year of 2025 is reflect. Okay, like, I don't think we spend enough time reflecting. And with this fast-paced lifestyle, it's so easy to just like go into the next year without fully grasping what took place last year, like how much you accomplished, like things that you aren't so proud of, things you could do better, things you learned. You need to take time to reflect going into the next year, because that way you'll have a clear understanding of like the progress you're making and where you're headed. It's really important to reflect. I always recommend like getting a personal journal, write down important events in your life. You have to track things, because the internet and your social media might not always be here for you to reference and go back to videos or think about certain periods in your life. So it's really important that you record your own life, just for your own sake. Take time to reflect on things, and reflection is a great tool. It keeps you on your toes. It keeps you wise, because you're aware of where you're coming from, where you are, and where you want to go. Okay, so reflection is that connection from the past and the future that's going to help you connect the dots, and I highly recommend doing so. And just a little bit to touch on what goes on in the spring. The reason that you feel different in the spring is because there's a massive energy shift that's taking place beyond the weather changing. So, okay, we know it gets warmer, and obviously that gives us more energy because we see the sun, like we feel good, it's warm outside, so we want to be out more. But there's also a spiritual connection to it, because for those of you who are religious or believe in God or are a follower of Christ, you know that in April we usually celebrate Easter, which is representative of the resurrection of Jesus. And that is symbolic of, the reason they have it in spring is because spring represents resurrection. It represents rebirth. And what is being reborn? The planet. The planet is going through a serious transformation, a resurrection from death. And in a literal sense, the planet was dead. If you look at the plants, the trees, they have no leaves, the animals are gone. Like, The planet literally goes through a rebirth every year, and that is an energy shift that takes place. It's really important that we align ourselves with the divine timing of nature, okay? Celebrating New Year's in the middle of the winter is very backwards, and it damages us spiritually, because mentally we're thinking we're in a new year, but physically we still feel like we're in the previous year because we're still in the middle of a season. That's why it's very important for us to reprogram our minds into aligning with the planet, aligning with nature, aligning with God's divine order, okay? That's what's going to help you get ahead. And it may seem weird because, okay, yeah, like, people are still going to consider January 1st a New Year's, but you personally know I don't have to rush to try to get everything figured out by January 1st. I still got time. I have it till March 21st to really, like, get myself together and get a new mindset of a new year. I'm going to end the video there. And I really appreciate, as always, everybody who tunes into my videos. I hope you guys have an amazing 2025. Don't forget the 5 things. You need to do your spring cleaning, create a game plan for the year, get grounded in your routine, get grounded in your habits, do some sort of spiritual cleanse, and number 5 is going to be reflect on 2024. Think about the wins you've had. Think about the losses you've had, the lessons you've had, the insights you've had. Reflect. So with that being said, I hope you guys take the time to do these things within the following week so that you can have a successful new year, because I know I'm taking time to do it. And I also recommend getting you a planner because, baby, let me just let y'all know, my planner is down. Like, it gets the job done. And I just want to give y'all a quick little example. These are my personal goals. I'm not going to overshare. I didn't finish. But as you can see in this planner, there are some serious categories here. So they have finances, business, health and fitness, personal development, relationship, family and friends, self-care, and fun and adventures and stuff. So you can take these categories if you want and just come up with, you know, a game plan for yourself for the year. But yeah, wishing you guys the best of luck, and let's normalize reprogramming our minds. Okay, thank you guys.